When your brother becomes your rival and your enemies become your only way out, the streets don't forgive. In episode 5 of BMF season 4, loyalty is tested, lines are crossed, and Meech is one move away from losing everything he built. The episode picks up right where things left off. Tension is already high, and the streets are buzzing. Meech is in Atlanta, trying to keep the empire strong, but every move he makes feels heavier than the last. The crew's starting to feel the pressure, the money's still flowing, but trust is running low. Episode 4 ended with a warning, and now in episode 5, that warning turns into action. Back in Detroit, Terry is stepping deeper into his own zone. He's not waiting for permission anymore. He's running plays, calling shots, and keeping secrets. That brotherly bond between him and Meech. It's not broken, but it's definitely strained. They're both chasing the same goal, but in different ways. Meech wants power through expansion. Terry wants control through loyalty and smart business. But when both brothers are playing different games on the same board, something's bound to snap. We also start to see more pressure from the outside. Law enforcement is watching everything. The task force isn't sleeping. They're gathering dirt, flipping people inside the crew, and getting closer to putting together a real case. Every move Meech and Terry make is being watched, even if they don't know it yet. There's a new energy in this episode, a sense that the clock is ticking. And when time runs out, somebody's going down. Meanwhile, the streets are changing too. New players are stepping in, people who once feared BMF are starting to question them. Some see opportunity, others see weakness. Meech knows it. That's why he starts forming new connections, building new alliances. But the problem is, every deal comes with a price. And in this game, the cost of survival might just be betrayal. This episode is not just about drug deals and street battles. It's about power. It's about how far you're willing to go to keep what you built. And it's about what happens when people close to you start acting like enemies. You can feel it in the way people look at each other. You can hear it in the silence between Meech and Terry. There's something coming, and it's not going to be good. Meech is moving different now. In this episode, we see him thinking 10 steps ahead, or at least trying to. With pressure coming from the feds, problems inside his circle, and enemies watching his every move, Meech knows he needs something stronger to keep BMF alive. That's when a new opportunity shows up, a connection out of state, someone with deep pockets, heavy products, and no loyalty to Detroit or Atlanta. It's a risky deal, but the kind that could change everything. At first, Meech keeps it low-key. Only a few people in the crew even know about the new plug. But word spreads fast in the streets, and when people start hearing about a new connect, questions come with it. Why didn't Meech tell the whole crew? Why's he trusting an outsider more than his own people? That's when the tension starts creeping in. You can see it in the side eyes, the fake smiles, the whispered conversations. People in BMF are starting to wonder if Meech is putting power before family. Some of his closest guys feel left out. Others start thinking they could run things better. It's not just about money anymore. It's about ego, respect, and trust. And once those things crack, it's hard to fix them. Even Lil Zane's character, who's always been solid, seems a little unsure now. He's asking questions, watching, moves more closely, because in the drug game, the moment you feel out of the loop, that's when you start planning your exit or your takeover. Meech, on the other hand, is locked in. He knows what he's doing isn't popular, but he believes it's necessary. To him, BMF isn't just a crew. It's a vision, a brand, a legacy, and to build a real empire, sometimes you have to take risks. That's his mindset. But the thing is, when you take risks with street money, the losses hit harder. One wrong step, one bad shipment, one person flipping to the police, and it's all gone. The deal with the new plug goes through, but not without complications. There's a scene of quiet, tense where Meech meets with the new connect. The vibe is different, no handshakes, no jokes, just business. The kind of business where if you say the wrong thing, you don't make it out. But Meech stays cool. He makes the deal. He walks away with more weight than ever before. And just like that, BMF is back in motion, but now they're running faster than ever, and the brakes are gone. Asterisk, the problem is, the faster you move, the more likely you are to crash. And some people in the crew already see it coming. One of them even hints at flipping not just on Meech, but on the whole operation. That little crack in the armor, it might be nothing. Or it might be the beginning of the end. Asterisk, Meech doesn't know who to trust anymore. Not fully, he's watching. His friends like enemies and treating strangers like partners. It's a dangerous line to walk. Because in BMF, the biggest threat isn't always across the city. Sometimes, it's sitting right next to you. Asterisk, Terry is no longer just the quiet brother. In this episode, he's stepping out of Meech's shadow and making moves of his own. Not just in the streets, but in life. He's got a different style from Meech, more patient, more cautious, but just as ambitious. While Meech is out in Atlanta handling big picture plays, Terry is locking down Detroit with a tighter grip. And even though he says it's all for the family, some of his choices are starting to feel personal. Asterisk, the first sign. Terry's meetings are happening behind closed doors. New drivers, new routes, even new muscle. He's cutting certain people out of the loop and replacing them with fresh faces. He doesn't say it out loud, but the message is clear. I can do this without Meech, and maybe he's right. The product is moving. The money's good. But every power move comes with a cost, and in Terry's case, it's the growing distance between him and his brother. Asterisk, there's a powerful scene where Terry and Meech finally meet face to face. It's not loud, no shouting, but the silence between them says everything. Meech questions Terry's choices, not just the business ones, but the personal ones too. And Terry fires back. He's tired of being seen as the little brother. He wants respect, full control over Detroit, and to make his own name in the game. Meech listens, but you can see the disappointment in his eyes. It's not hate, it's hurt. Because for the first time, these two aren't working as one. Asterisk, and while the brothers are clashing, the people around them are watching closely. Some of the crew are starting to take sides. There are whispers about a split, about BMF being too big to stay under one roof. A few even wonder if Terry might try to start his own version of the family. The streets can sense the shift too. When the bosses aren't united, everybody underneath starts looking for cracks to sneak through. Asterisk, but Terry isn't out here just chasing power. He's also trying to protect what's his family means a lot to him, especially his son and his girl. And in this episode, we see just how deep he's willing to go to keep them safe. One scene shows Terry pulling back from a risky deal, not because he's scared, but because he knows the heat is rising. That kind of decision says a lot about him. He's smart, but sometimes smart gets mistaken for soft in this world. Asterisk, there's also a moment where Terry's past catches up to him. A face from earlier seasons shows up, throwing doubt on his loyalty and intentions. It's quick, but it hits hard. Terry is forced to make a choice, stay on the clean side of the game, or double down and get his hands dirty. By the end of the episode, it's clear Terry is in, all the way. But the version of him we see now, he's colder, sharper, and not as willing to bend to Meech's way anymore. Asterisk, this shift between the brothers is one of the most important storylines in episode 5, because the deeper they go into the game, the further apart they seem to grow, and when brothers start acting like business partners instead of family, betrayal stops being just a possibility. It becomes a countdown. Just when things start to settle, or at least feel predictable, Lamar returns to remind everyone why peace is never permanent in the BMF world. His energy is wild and stable, and deadly. Every time he shows up on screen, the tension shifts. And in episode 5, he doesn't come to talk. He comes to send a message. Asterisk Lamar is moving like a ghost. Nobody knows where he's been, but now he's back, and he's playing by his own rules. The streets are nervous. Even Meech feels it. He knows Lamar's not just another threat, he's a storm, and storms don't make deals. They destroy everything in their path. Asterisk, there's a scene where Lamar watches from the shadows while BMF soldiers make a drop. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't attack. But his presence alone is a warning. I'm still here. And I'm coming. That kind of silence is scarier than violence. It means he's planning something big. Asterisk, but well, everyone's. Watching Lamar, they're forgetting the real danger might not be on the streets, it's in the system. Law enforcement is turning up the heat this episode. Detectives are getting closer, and the task force has finally found a crack in BMS. Armor, someone close to the crew, is leaking information. They don't know who it is yet, but the feds are listening, tracking, and ready to move. Asterisk, one of the most intense parts of the episode is when a BMF runner gets picked up. The interrogation scene is quiet but brutal. No yelling, just pressure. The kind that makes a man break without even realizing he's doing it. The way the camera lingers on his face, you can see the guilt building. And before he even asks for a lawyer, he's already said too much. Asterisk, this is the part where everything starts tightening. Lamar on one side, the cops on the other, and tension growing inside the crew. Meech and Terry might be focused on each other, but neither of them sees what's coming next. And just when the episode feels like it's about to wrap up, we get hit with the twist. Asterisk without spoiling too much. Someone you thought was loyal. They're not. Someone you thought was gone. They're back. And the final scene flips the whole season on its head. It's quick, just a few seconds, but it changes everything. A phone call, a name dropped, a look of pure shock. Fade to black. Asterisk, this episode doesn't end with a bang. It ends with a chill. The kind that makes you sit still, thinking about what you just saw. BMF has always been about power, loyalty, and family. But in episode 5, we see that betrayal can come from anywhere. And no matter how high you climb, the fall is always waiting. Asterisk, as the credits roll, one thing is clear. The streets are about to explode. And in episode 6, there will be no more warnings, just consequences. Asterisk, episode 5 was more than just another chapter. It was the turning point. Meech is playing with fire by trusting outsiders. Terry is breaking off to build his own lane. Lamar is watching, waiting, and ready to strike. And the feds? They're closing in faster than anyone realizes. Asterisk, the game is shifting, and loyalty is getting harder to find. Every character is making moves, but not everyone's playing for the same team anymore. And that's what makes this episode so dangerous. The combi for the chaos. Asterisk. So now the question is, asterisk, who's going to break first? The brothers, the crew, or the streets themselves? Asterisk, drop your theories in the comments. Who do you think is going to flip? And who's not making it to the end of the season? Asterisk, if you're riding with BMF and ready for episode 6, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We're breaking it all down, every twist, every betrayal, and every power play. Asterisk, this is just the beginning. Asterisk, see you next episode.